Man, just go ahead, nose. Um, Nothing, man. Prepare for this show, man. It's no April Fool's joke. When y'all go with y'all's NBA teams, man, I can't wait to hear
We also got your favorite DJ, Sample Man himself, Mr. Ted Shakir, too. What's good?
What's good, brothers? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Two got a brand new mic.
it. Do you hear that?
Seeing that
Come on,
giant
man.
crispy like a two-piece
Look,
out of Popeyes.
once I realized that we were becoming those guys, you got to start doing those guys things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to the mic that I didn't get from a pawn shop this time.
Shout out to the mic.
Shout out to the mic. Shout out to the mic. All right, gentlemen, we are on the last lap of the NBA season. But before we get into the all NBA teams, before we get into NBA awards, at least our awards anyway, we had an announcement. We had the NBA 2023 Hall of Fame class. Well, technically, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, the Naismith Hall of Fame. But we did have some notable names that made the Hall of Fame. Of course, it's Sheedy's guy, Mr. Dwayne Wade himself. We also got Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, Becky Hammond, and former Memphis Grizzly Pau Gasol. So, Sheedy, I'm gonna let you speak first, man. How you feeling about this class?
Man, you mentioned Greg Popovich too, man. That's wild. I will say phenomenal class. I don't even know what to compare this class to, but think about some of those recipients. D Wade and Dirk Nowitzki are the two that come to my mind to watch a playoff run the way that they did, quintessentially kind of by themselves, whether it was against the Heat or for the Heat, or against the Mavericks or with the Mavericks. Pretty sensational. Dirk Nowitzki is the king of the fadeaway with 1 foot. You have D Wade that elevated. It's the third best shooting guard of all time. Talk all you want to. Greg Popovich single-handedly should be in the top 2, top 3 when you're talking about coaching. Powell, without Powell, Kobe told you don't get those other 2 rings.
Yeah, facts.
So pretty sensational talent that we have there. And I mean, I'm really high on the D Wade train. So sorry if I only talk about D Wade and his 3 championships and things of that nature. But kudos to the class, though. Much deserved. All first-class gentlemen and recipients of the award.
And Becky Hammond was not a gentleman.
Yeah. I was about to say, I thought it was a girl. As I'm reaching for my daughter, Becky Hammond, who does deserve a shot at coaching in the NBA as well.
I think she will. I think she'll be a Spurs coach for long.
Yeah. You believe so too, baby? Yes. After she handles some business in WNBA, but shout out to this class and Becky Hammond, who's littered with a lot of talent with the Spurs. But shout out to you all. But D Wade, class.
I think this is easily like my favorite Hall of Fame class, and it's not even close. When you talk about every single player on this, and of course, Coach Popovich, just starting with him, that's the greatest coach in my opinion of all time, if you ask me. And that's no salute to Phil Jackson or anybody else of that nature, but he was able to come in and implement a system that ran its course for damn near 20 years. And now you have descendants of this coach that's making an impact in the NBA. Like, if that's not greatest coach material ever, whatever. But for shout out to Coach Pop, huge Dwayne Wade fan, just like you, Sheedy. What I see on this list is a bunch of players that played the game the right way. And what I mean by playing the game is the right way is like they didn't cheat. They can say whatever you want about the Heatles, everything. But, surprisingly and ironically, Dirk Nowitzki is in this Hall of Fame class as well. Mm-hmm. So he played the game the right way. Third best shooting guard ever. You can make arguments for 2 because Kobe and MJ are like the same player to me. And Dwayne Wade, like I said, made Miami his, brought the championship damn near his 3rd season in the league.
it was 06, 07?
Yeah. 06, 07. You hear me?
And even like in college, you can tell that he was going to be special, but, shout out to for Pat Riley for realizing that. And then, quipping him with Shaq, and, the rest is history. Then, to continue that career. He was a flash for a reason. He was one of the only players that can make me jump out of my bed and screaming. So, like, damn. So, salute to him.
And can I say something? And salute to the Pistons. You talked about that draft. Salute to the Pistons for their draft pick. I'll let you continue now.
Yeah, you know, that's another talk for another day. But of course, Dirk Nowitzki, man, the man that beat LeBron, and of course the Heatles team, they underrated him, but a 4-time All-Star MVP, and he got probably one of the top 5 most unstoppable moves in the NBA. You know, we can argue that. 2011 champion, 6 all-time in scoring. I think people need to really pay attention to that. And
damn,
done it all on one team. Shout out to that. Shout out, like I said, to players that play the game their way and the right way. Pau Gasol, you know, being from Memphis, I think he got a little roughness, you know, being out here, but we wanted Pau to play a different way. Of course, you know, he ended up being traded for his brother, ironically, but Kobe Bryant don't win those 2 championships without the help of Pau Gasol. His IQ was one of the best for power forward, you know, as far as for stretch forward, he's one of the early ones, and we weren't able to witness Pau's, you know, greatness first save with them being a Memphis Grizzly, but he was able to help the late Kobe Bryant win the team. And Tony Parker, you know, one of Greg's sons. Salute to him, 6-time All-Star. I know he really made the All-Star that many times, honestly, besides looking on this list. I know he made the MVP, but 6-time All-Star. Put some respect on Tony Parker's name, man. Please put some respect on his name. And of course, Becky Hammond should be coaching in the NBA, in my opinion, one of the greatest minds, if not the greatest mind in WNBA sports history. I can't wait to see till she's on the court, but definitely salute to her. Definitely remember everything that she's done in the WNBA, of course, winning the championship and, you know, coach of the year a couple years ago. So, hey, keep doing your thing, Becky. We fans of you.
Man, I'm looking at this class and I'm just like, I literally was able to watch and witness each of these players. You know, back when you were
younger, man.
And like you think about back when you were younger, you see older players. Oh yeah, I seen highlights, you know, but it's like, no, I can literally remember all 6 of these people vividly from their career, from Powell being with the Grizzlies, you know, for a time period to the day that he was traded for, you know, Mark and Kwame Brown and other pieces to the Lakers, him playing with the Lakers when I was a Lakers fan, not today, but in the past, I was a Lakers fan. So
we're going to get him. We're going to get him.
So I was able to witness that, his finals against the Magic and both against the Celtics. Dirk, I mean, I'll never forget, I think it was 2010 or whenever they beat the Heat. The Heat was the first time, and we cut the game. I don't know if it was that game. I can't remember exactly, but we cut the game off, came back, and the Dallas Mavericks won the game. And we was like, bro, what did we miss? But that's Dirk. There's, you know, Jason Kidd at the time. It was Jason Terry. But Dirk, of course, is the guy that was stirring a drink for the Dallas Mavericks. Dwayne Wade, another memory with Dwayne Wade. I'll never forget that summer. I was like, I'm buying me a Dwayne Wade jersey because like he turned into the Flash against the Mavericks for that series. A lot of people forget the Mavericks won the first 2 games of that series. They won the first 2 games of that series, and then Dwayne Wade.
No, let's go ahead and be honest here. Let's be honest here. They won 2 games in about 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
It literally, if it wasn't for, we're going to call it what it is, a house that went a certain way. But then D Wade after that.
You couldn't stop him. You could not stop Dwayne Wade. And I was like, I'm buying me a Dwayne Wade jersey. And so I literally copped that red 3 Wade jersey, and I wore it the first day of class when we got back to school the next year. I promise you. I was like, man, that man's amazing. and to like see his evolution over the course of, you know, their early career to recruiting LeBron to his late career, and now, you know, what he does now. I mean, you guys salute Dwayne Wade, 3rd best shooting guard in history. You got MJ, you got Kobe, you got Dwayne Wade. It's not James Harden, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dwayne Wade. Let's keep it a bean. Tony Parker. I've long compared John Morant to Tony Parker in terms of how he plays the game, how he's able to get to the paint. Tony Parker is probably the greatest non-dunking finisher at the point guard position that we have seen until now with John Morant, obviously. But Tony Parker was leading the league in points in the paint. Like Tony Parker, a 6'1" point guard, was dominating with that floater in the paint. If you don't believe me, go look at that 2006 finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers where he won Finals MVP. Tony Parker is that dude, so he's definitely deserving. I saw a lot of Twitter comments about how he's not deserving. I'm like, no. Go back and watch Tony Parker. It wasn't Tim Duncan. It wasn't Ginobili. And during that finals, it was Tony Parker that was killing it. Greg Popovich. I mean, what more can we say about Coach Pop, man? One of the greatest coaches of all time. I could debate against Phil Jackson, but I mean, thinking about Pop's longevity over the course of like 20, 30 seasons, and he's still coaching now. I appreciate that as a basketball fan. He didn't just leave once the team got bad, Doc Rivers. He stayed with it and is developing his young players, and may or may not get a better player next year with Victor Wembanyama, who we just saw shoot a 3 and then tip slam it into the goal.
Ain't no way in hell.
He might get Victor next year. And that's like Tim Duncan again, or David Robinson again. So we'll see. And of course, Becky Hammond, who had a career with the San Antonio's WNBA affiliate. She played, I think, with the Charlotte team, and then it was the Jazz, well, not Jazz, but the Stars in Utah. Then it came down to San Antonio. Of course, San Antonio's team moved up to Las Vegas, where she coaches now for the Las Vegas Aces. So she has some skin in the game with that franchise, along with the Spurs franchise as well too. And I think she'll be in the NBA coaching at some point. One of the best basketball minds we've seen. She came into the Aces 1 year, won a ring. Like, that's enough right there. That's literally enough. She came in and changed the game for the Aces. So shout out to the Hall of Fame class. It's definitely one of my favorites. I've been looking for the speeches. So I don't know who's up for next year, but did Chris Bosh get in yet, Sheedy?
I don't know. That's a good question, but he actually retired before D-Wade. So
yeah,
if he's not in right now, then
yeah, I know he's not first ballot, but he got to be in at some point. He got to be in at some point. He played
real
a part.
Quick. Speaking of Becky Hammond, just want to give a salute to 1976 Olympic women's team. They'll be in the Hall of Fame as well, and they won a silver medal. But it was the first time we would have a women's basketball team in the Olympics. So just wanted to salute them as well. They'll be in the Hall of Fame as well.
For sure. Good looks. All right. You said you got a trivia question? Kind of bypass.
Oh, absolutely. It should be pretty easy. I know I've been stumpy y'all lately, you know what I'm saying? It should be pretty easy. So last week, Keegan Murray broke the rookie record for 3 points made. I just want to know if y'all know who the previous holder was, or previous 2 holders, actually. They're still playing today.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell is last. Mm-hmm.
Lauri Markkanen.
Damian Lillard.
Dang, I
thought come on, Shitty.
Yeah.
Come on, Shitty. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Did you just know that, Shitty, or you just guessed?
Nah, man, I'm lighting the beam, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. We're gonna talk about them. But nah, they talked about it a little bit in the game I was watching against them. So
okay.
Call it good job with retaining a memory. That's what it is.
Hey.
And before you continue, we lied. I apologize. Chris Bosh was part of 2021.
So he did get in.
He did get in.
Okay.
It was him, Paul Pierce, Chris Webber, Rick Alderman, and a few others. Bill Russell, Jay Wright. Did I say Chris Webber already? Yeah, Bill Russell.
That's a good class too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bosh.
Yeah.
It's good class.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Quick news about the new agreed upon CBA. So we're not gonna have a lockout for at least the next 7 years, but they did make a couple of changes to the CBA. Of course, the first one is that, and we'll talk about this later in the episode, obviously, is for the minimum requirements for individual league awards is 65 games. So a player must play. That's about 79%. Check my math sheet, I don't know. But about 79% of the NBA games, and a lot of players this year have not played 60 games just yet. I've seen a lot of 50s, 55s, 49s. So that could be interesting, I think. Because, like, if I miss a game due to injury, if I miss, like 16, 17 games, but I'm clearly like Steph Curry, I'm like, you can't just act like I ain't that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
it's at 65 games, right?
Uh-huh.
So basically, you only missed 7 games.
What's that, 7? Because 82 games.
Oh, 82, my fault. Yeah.
It was 17?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So you can't miss 17 games. So if I get hurt, I can't be out for
the NBA is about to be 83 games.
Yeah, because of and that's a good point. With the not the play-in tournament, but the in-season tournament, which is going to be, I think say like in November, but there's like a in-season tournament, which we've seen the WNBA do, of course. And the winning team's players each get $500,000. Draymond had beef with that because I think it was $1 million per person or per player, if I recall correct. Now it's down to $500K. So I'm wondering, like, where's that other money going? You know, so
they're not going.
It's not going. Apparently,
it's not going. It's staying.
So that money is somewhere, but it ain't in the players' pockets. Additionally, the NBA players will no longer be prohibited for marijuana under the new 7-year CBA. It's been removed from the anti-drug testing program that began in 2019, 2020. So players are allowed to smoke some weed. So general thoughts.
You go straight.
I guess really, I mean, like I said, we'll get into this later, but playing 65 games out of 82 is roughly about, I just put in the chat, roughly about 80% of your team's games. And that makes sense for an award. I think it is hard to cascade and put someone as an MVP. If they've missed, 20 games, you can see the benefit of them there or without them there. So I'm kind of with it, honestly. Because you can also make cases if a guy only plays. For instance, I could have said LeBron was the MVP this first year that he went to Lakers. And the case being I couldn't because he clearly didn't play enough games. But if you look at that team, the Cavaliers only lost LeBron, went from being in the finals to
first pick, I feel like.
Yes. And the Lakers, who went from not being into the playoffs, were almost into the playoffs, were on their way to being in the playoffs with LeBron playing. So I completely agree that you should have to be a certain percentage of games. 80% is fine. I guess that's the cutoff. Injuries happen every day. You can't be injured and be an MVP, I guess. And is that going to be for all awards?
Just individual awards?
Just individual.
But I think they still do it in a different way for the All NBA awards.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting because you basically saying y'all better play. Yeah. Like you can, if you hurt, let's see if you really hurt. But you also got to think about the contract incentives too. So like you get the incentives for like first, second, third team. Obviously MVP and DPOI and all that. So players who legitimately get hurt, like LeBron is older. It's kind of like you're making your older players like less relevant, I guess, because LeBron missed a lot of time this year. He missed like 20, 30 games this year for an obvious reason. He had a foot injury. Embiid missed time. Kawhi missed time. Actually, Kawhi has actually played a lot of games this year, but like he hasn't played, and he won't play 65 games. So it's like, do we just have De'Aaron Fox as MVP? Like, what's that gonna be? So I'm just curious about that. But so you had something?
Oh yeah, I got a lot.
Go ahead, man.
I don't like it. I think this is one of the the bigger contradictory of CBAs that they sign. And what I mean by that is over the last 3-4 years, for one, we've been talking about how the NBA should lessen games. And now you add in one to the season. That's an issue number one for me, because we're seeing players go through quote unquote fake injuries, for one. For two, you're making the rule for NBA players to quote unquote play a certain amount of games. For those players that we look at for MVP runners, like the LeBrons, like the Kawhis, like the KDs, they don't care about the MVP award anymore. That's just that's just me being honest. So those players who we expect to play 65 games now, they're not going to play the 65 games in the future. That's just me being honest. And what this is going to do, which may or may not help the NBA, is try to find who's the next player that they can market. Yeah. And what I mean by that is, for the last 20 years, you've had LeBron James, Kevin Durant to market your league around. They about to retire in 3-4 years. Stephen Curry about to get on out of here in 3-4 years. So who's going to be that next player to come in and step in and say, we can literally market the NBA around you? We want it to be Ja Morant, but hell, we got him going through his right now. You know what I'm saying? Victor is somebody, but we've seen tall players not last the NBA without, 6-7 years.
I think right now that player is Giannis. Is Giannis, because I mean, I just looked to see if what did Embiid and Jokic play. They both are going to reach that marker, and 65 game marker. And Giannis obviously played a lot of games too. So
I like Giannis, but for fans that respect skill more than anything, power, that's an issue for us basketball fans. You know what I'm saying? For real basketball fans, that's an issue for me. If you're going to market the NBA around. Market if you're gonna market a campaign about winner chicken dinner, I'm straight. How does that benefit me as a basketball fan? I don't want to hear that at an All-Star game.
Now that
the player that you're marketing around,
I agree. Listen. Well, never mind. We'll talk later.
For sure. That's I guess issue number 1 and 2. Issue number 3, I feel like you should keep players far away from gambling as possible. And now you got that. Oh, they finna start advertising for FanDuel. for one, I'm losing so much money in FanDuel, I may delete the app tonight. So I don't want to see Kevin Durant advertising for FanDuel because it may make me want to stay. But still, like even then, it's kind of like pressing. Like I keep the players as far away as possible from gambling because I already feel like Vegas be selling anyway. So now it's like you finna get everybody money, which I guess is a big play for the NBA. Cool, get your money, but all money ain't good money. So salute to them being able to smoke weed and invest in weed companies. Better late than never, but later too. So I can appreciate that.
It's only late because
overall, like I said, it's a big controversy, man. It's I ain't gonna say controversy. It's contradicting itself in a way, and we can talk more about it later if we need to.
Yeah. I'm cool with the weed smoking. I mean, they're doing it anyway. It's just finessing the drug test. So that's one. About the games played, yeah, I'm curious to see it in action. Because like you mentioned, like players who don't care about it, Kawhi and Paul George now, because Paul George been hurt a lot. LeBron probably don't care anymore. They're gonna toe that line very masterfully. Whereas you're gonna have players like I think Giannis is gonna win MVP, and B has played in a lot more games this year because he wants that MVP, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And then you got Jokic, of course, doing his thing as well. But I'm curious, like what you mentioned, too, is like who is going to be that person that's going to gun for the MVP, and we saw it this year, like I said, with Joel Embiid, but in a wing-based, guard-based, league, because we haven't had, at least in recent years, I'm trying to think about MVPs. We had like Harden, we've had Westbrook, we've had LeBron, obviously, we've had who else? I can't think of any more wings as one MVP recently, but we might have back-to-back big man winning MVP. So that's going to be interesting, but not too many people are going to be one to be marketed as far as like a big man in terms of like who would you actually care about, being the face of the league. And then the in-season tournament, I'm okay, I guess, with it. I don't really think I would get up for an in-season tournament.
What are the benefits of that again?
Aside from the money, and I think it's the money part, the $500K. Because money in your pocket. Yeah, if you told me, hey, y'all can go play $500, I go play right now. But it's also, I think you get an additional game in the standings. So if you win, it helps. But what if you lose? I don't know, because some teams won't play the 83rd game. Does that make sense? Like some of them, because if you don't make the finals, you won't make that 83rd game. So does that help or does it hurt the team that loses that game? I don't know. This is I had to look into it, but I don't really.
It's like, would it help in playoff seeding, or is it beneficial to the playoffs, or like I'm really trying to understand what this is. Like, it's just say we're gonna do something special in Vegas. Come turn up with us. That's what it sounds like.
I don't get it.
I don't. I need to see it play through at least one season. Like I feel like even like the playing tournament, right? I think at that time we were kind of like, why are we doing the playing tournament? We're kind of almost against it. We weren't completely sold in, I would say, as I am now.
I was sold on playing. I was like, because you give us meaningful basketball at the end of the season. Now you got the Kings, and not the Kings, but like the players at the bottom, teams at the bottom of the standings, they actually want to get in to get a chance. Right. Whereas like before, it was like a foregone conclusion. The AC has a 3-game lead on 9th seed, so everybody's not playing their players.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would just like to see whatever this little thing is in the middle of the season. I just don't want to.
The thing about it is, even like the WNBA one, it's like I watched it, but I didn't care more. It was just kind of like, oh, like cool. It wasn't like I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. They, do whatever. And I remember on LBR, y'all showed the little small ass trophy when they won that.
Exactly. So if anything, just keep. I think what happened was rivalry week. I think rivalry week went pretty well. So maybe extend that, find some new rivalries, I guess. But yeah. Mm-hmm. No, not a fan.
So I don't really care for that. I guess we'll see how it plays out next year. But by and large, we don't even care about the All-Star weekend. Why do I care about the in-season tournament? Nobody cares. Yeah. All right. Do y'all want to do y'all NBA awards first, or y'all want to do the all NBA teams?
I say awards.
Awards. All right. So let's hop into it, man. So NBA awards, man. I didn't want to do it next week because I feel like, in my opinion, it's a foregone conclusion. Not foregone conclusion, but I feel like there's something that can happen these next 2 weeks that changes anything. I mean, Embiid didn't want to play Jokic the other day. Jokic played Giannis, and they won the other day. So I feel like things are pretty much settling in right now. So with that being said, who do y'all have as MVP? She just said 3 in a row, like tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just start real quick. Nikola Jokic, go and wrap it up. First one to do it since Larry Bird. He'll die on his sword. This will probably be his last one.
Is it now?
But like, we can't fight. And we talked about this on the show before. Like, okay, the last previous seasons, he's had the same identical numbers, if not a little bit better this season. And if we're talking about, and I think this does have to play in consideration to everything that I'm saying today, it will, team success. Number one team in the West. So yes, the best player, I shouldn't say best player, but he is the best, the best player on the Nuggets and the best player in the West, I would say. Not really the West. I give Kevin Durant maybe, since Tuca's here.
Hey, you smart. You smart.
But the MVP of the league, ladies and gentlemen, will be Nikola Jokic. You can put up all the defensive stats you want to. I don't really care. You can show me all that.
That's what makes me so mad, because I'm like, he doesn't play defense, and Rudy Gobert don't play offense. Now what?
Exactly.
What do you want? What do you want this man to do?
I'm cool because there wasn't this conversation with anyone else trying to become an MVP. Whether it was Russell Westbrook wasn't.
James Harden don't play defense either.
James Harden for sure wasn't playing defense, scoring 30+ points a night. So we're not gonna make this a conversation now. Joel, you got it next year, and for how many years you want to maybe carry this, but you can't. The topic of this is Joker's been doing this for the entirety of the season, maybe been slacking the last couple of weeks, whereas Embiid has really turned it on since really, let's say, post All-Star break, so to speak. So to me, no, you can't now just football like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler just all of a sudden flipped the switch, and now you're a little bit better than you were at the beginning of the season. So no, to me, this award itself, most valuable player, it's not most valuable player for a few months. It's the most valuable player for the season. So I'm gonna go Joker. And I see what he said, and I don't really care. The Browns,
I do, and that's because he's right. I am going Embiid for the simple fact of, even though they're number one in the West, they got the same exact record as the Sixers. That's number one. Number two, I can appreciate Jokic putting up triple-double numbers. Average of triple-double as a center is crazy. Shout out to him. But literally, when players go against you, you're the worst defender in the paint. That's an issue with me. I can't. Me being a basketball head that I am. That's like saying you shit in the paint. You ain't doing nothing defensively. All your energy is going on offense, which is credit to the Nuggets. They're an offensive team, and you're getting those numbers. You're not stat padding, because we had that talk last episode, but you're getting those numbers, which is impressive. But when you're the worst in the league defensively, holding down the paint for your team, and we had to talk over the summer for a big man holding down the paint, defensively is a big deal for me. In this whole NBA offensive driven league, I need my big man to be able to get at least a block a game. So with that being said, Embiid is number one in points, regardless of him catching fire or not, late in the season. He's number one in the points. And as a center, still in this offensive league, that's pretty damn impressive. He's averaging 10 boards a game. He's averaging his career high in field goal percentage as well. Embiid is the MVP, bro. And I get the Jokic. I get the numbers. I can appreciate it being 3 times since Larry Bird, which is, I ain't going to call it a racial thing because I'm not that kind of guy. But, for the people that are voting, I think the advantage will go to him. But if you're a real basketball head, and like hearing that stat alone should piss off some people. Like, you got an MVP candidate that can't get a block a game. I don't even think he had a half a block game, to be honest with you. But he's the worst defensive big man in the league. That's the issue for me. So if I was to pick an MVP, mine would be Embiid.
I'm actually curious to see his blocks per game. He got 0.7, so you're right about that. But I guess I just feel like with Jokic, and of course I said from the first couple of episodes that he would be MVP, and I still feel that way because, despite those numbers too, they got the best record in the West. So I'm like, damn, imagine
they got the same record.
I'm saying like in the West though, like in the West terms, like just where they are in conferences. But I'm like, hell, if he played defense, maybe they had some more wins, and they had the number one spot in the West. So it's like, whatever. But I go back to last year when the on and off numbers were like glaring, where when Jokic plays, this team is like the best team in the NBA, but when he doesn't play, it's like the worst team in the NBA. And this year, they're obviously the best team in the West, not in the NBA, because that's Giannis. But I don't know. I just feel like what more can Jokic do aside from exert more energy on defense? The man ain't fat. Like, what y'all want him to do? Y'all want him to jump and block shots? Like, nah, he dishing assists, he's shooting, he doing what he's the point guard for the offense. And in a positionless, league now, I feel like what he does is extremely valuable. Not to say that what Embiid does is invaluable, is not as valuable, but I mean, we literally saw them go from 6 to 1. And it's not because Jamal Murray is playing better. It's not because Junior is playing better. It's not because Aaron Gordon is playing better. It's because of Nikola Jokic. That being said, I don't think they're going to win the NBA championship. But for the regular season, I'll give it to the Joker. But I will say this. There is a team and a player who has the best record in the NBA. Why do y'all think that Giannis ain't getting no love right now?
Similar to what Took just said a little bit earlier about him not playing different type of style of basketball that's appealing, so to speak. But the man is still averaging. Clearly not as many points as Joel, but right below Joel. I think he might be getting more rebounds than
31-12, 6 assists.
Yeah, the man's a robot. should he be anything? This is someone that plays defense, so he should get your vote. There too. Got offense and defense here, and he has a better record than Joel Embiid.
Here's what I want you to understand, Sheedy. He don't get my vote because he went on the biggest time for NBA basketball and went on live TV and said, "Winner, winner, chicken dinner" after beating LeBron. Nah, better luck next year, buddy. Make a new slogan. Beat LeBron again next time. Next year, buddy.
Two just mad because Giannis blocked KD shot 2 years ago. That's all they mad about.
It still hurts.
No, I'm mad because KD got big ass feet. That's what I'm mad about. Damn, big fat ass
dude. Is there any way there's a co-MVP this year? I feel like this year, I don't think Joker's gonna win because it's like damn MVP, because Embiid, here you go, bro. Damn, here you go. Stop complaining. Stop going to the media. Stop doing all this stuff. I feel like even him sitting out was like a protest. Like, y'all gonna give him the MVP anyway because we're gonna lose. Because I thought they were gonna lose to the Nuggets regardless. So
there could have been a case for it. But the Nuggets. Okay, let's prove this to your point earlier. The Nuggets are 3-7 this season without Joker. The 76ers are 9-5 without Joel Embiid.
Numbers don't lie, right?
But you could, but to that point though, you can really facilitate numbers in any way.
You could
to make them feel like your case.
Yeah, you could.
To be honest,
you could. I'm just happy that the big man getting love though. Either way, because I feel like the game shifted away from the big man with the Warriors, and now it's shifting back towards Embiid and Jokic. So I'm curious to see how it evolves in the coming years. Because if Joker wins this year, I think that's it for him.
Yes,
I think that's it. You can't give him any more MVPs because I'm like, all right, he ain't the greatest player of all time now. Like, let's relax. Inside Scoop with Spivey says that's cool. What's the record head to head? It's one to question mark because Embiid didn't want to play. That one game. So I can say he didn't want to play, but it's like I feel like if you talk that much about the MVP and what you do is important, which it is, I would have been like, nah, I'm playing this game. I'll sit out next game, whatever it is. But we know Embiid talks a lot, so this is how he is. All right, DPOY. I'm gonna roll with Jaren, and I'm not gonna speak any further than that because Jaren he's damn near about to lead the league in blocks. He leads the league in blocks per game, and we've literally seen we see it on the court where the defense is not as good when he's off the court. Jaren comes in, he get 5 blocks, defense is clicking. The moment he sits down, like that game against the Clippers, what was it the other day when they scored like 141 points? That's enough for me. Brook Lopez, nah, man. Like I'm sorry, you got Giannis with you. You got Drew Holiday with you. We don't. We got Dylan Brooks, cool, but Dylan Brooks ain't Drew Holiday. Let's keep it a bang. So give me Jaren. That's it.
Yeah, clean sweep. You just actually named the reason why Brook Lopez should not be Defensive Player of the Year. It's because he has 2 on. He's not the best defensive player on his team.
Period.
So Jaren Jackson Jr.
Or third.
Or second.
Or maybe fourth.
I like Bobby Porter's nice too.
Oh, maybe 5th.
Yeah, he's a guard. Javon, whatever his name is.
Javon,
maybe
Carter.
6.
Yeah. He's not in the starting 5.
Hold on, like, that's a legit point though. Those are legit points for sure.
Yeah,
but mine is Jaren as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Clean sweep.
Yeah, we ain't got to speak too much about that. He better get it. Damn it, he better get it.
I mean, if they put emphasis on whatever stocks, whatever they want to call them,
Jaren got it.
Yeah, got number 1 as well. So yeah, show some love to my guy, man. Shout out to Jaren.
I think he'll get it. Most improved player. I got somebody, but I want to know what y'all got or who y'all got.
You know where I ride. I got 2. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You got 2. I need 1. Talk about 2.
I know, man. All right, I'm going to definitely stick with Lori from marketing. Yes.
Ooh, okay.
However, a player that could also, I could see, could get my vote for this is Brooklyn Bridges. He could definitely take my vote.
He improved mid-season. It was like, damn, man, first game 45 points.
Yes, and just dropped another 40 piece the other night. Like, he went from being a third option, so to speak, sometimes maybe even a fourth option, to the number 1 option, doing what he has to do. But I'll stick with my Lori from marketing, man, because I mean, beginning of the season, he became a starter in his own city in regards to, should have been an all-star starter, by the way, but not enough people voted for him. Stupidity. But give me Lori for marketing. Went from being a tradable piece to now an all-star that deserves to be crowned as an all-star. I'm not going to say all-NBA. That's it.
Nah.
Like Lori marketing for sure, and I wouldn't be upset if he won it. Like, he definitely, from everything you just said, Sheeta, like last year he was pretty much a nobody, and now he goes to a team and becomes an all-star. So hopefully he can keep it up. But mine, of course, is SGA. I've been raving about him all season. 31 points a game, averaging from the 24, 25 he was averaging last season. So
mine too.
Like, cool. Because like that's impressive. And if OKC was a better team, they'd be in the playoffs. See me next year, guys. I can't wait to say it. But no, just everything from shooting better. He's shooting 90% from the free throw, which helped him out. He's having a career year in field goal percentage as well, and 3-point percentage. He did a couple years ago.
Like, he ain't shooting that well, but
but he's closing games out for the OKC Thunder. He's a 6'6" point guard, so he's able to finesse any kind of way over guards as far as shooting wise, and he can get to the paint damn near at will. So, you give me, most improved, it's gonna be SGA.
Yeah. On top of that, to Tuke's point about Jokic, he averages 1 block a game. Like, he getting 1 block.
So you telling me a point guard is averaging a block a game, but y'all finna give somebody MVP 3 times? Let me chill.
So he is averaging a block a game and actually 1.7 still. So he's also sitting in the chair on defense as well too. I got SGA, and I feel like he should get it based on the fact that you can make a debate next year. If SGA and the Thunder are a better team and you're going up against Ja Morant, you can make a debate at some point. I promise you. Before I was like, nah, but right now it's like, hey, if they improve, we might have a little something here. So yeah, I got SGA. Let me see. Inside School said he had Booker and Aiden to deal with, and Phoenix. Bridges has been a baller. SGA is going to win it, and OKC is in the thick of things. Yeah, they're in 10th place right now in the play-in, and I think even based on their matchup in the play-in, they can still make some noise. They can beat Minnesota.
Who said they're going to stay 10th?
Right, because I mean it's changing by the day, literally by the day.
You know what else is changing by the day?
What?
Get them.
Lakers.
Get that mess out of here. Anyway. Rookie of the year, Paolo Banchero. Next.
Yeah, next slide.
Sweet.
I like Paolo Banchero. We ain't got to talk about that. All right. Coach of the year. I actually, I'm kind of, it's a toss up for me. Because I feel like.
No, you gotta choose one.
Are you firing me up, man? Yeah. Are you firing me up? I feel like you can make a debate for Coach Bud, given that the wishy-washiness of the Milwaukee season, but I'm gonna roll Mike Brown with the Kings. I mean, it's been a long ass time. There was a graphic on Twitter that showed the last lineup it was like Mike Bibby. First of all, Mike Bibby in any capacity. That's how you know it's old. Mike Bibby is like the opposite of what he was back then. He buff now. Like he was a skinny dude back in the day. It was Mike Bibby. It was Bonzi Wells. It was Ron Artest, not Metal World Peace. Ron Artest. Who else was? I forget who else. It was Brad Miller and some other random.
With Rick Adelman as the coach, huh?
I think it was Rick Adelman, yeah. But even then, that's like a long ass time ago. So give me Mike Brown for some fact that he got the Kings not just in the playoffs, like fighting for their lives, but solidified in that 2-3 range. So give me Mike Brown.
I want Mikey as well, man. They the number one offense in the league, and last year, like we kind of clowned them on trading, away Tyrese Halliburton. But they knew what they were doing. They got some great 3-point shooters, not just good, some great 3-point shooters in Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter, and De'Aaron Fox is still that guy. So I mean, Sabonis is setting it up, playing point forward, point center, whatever you want to call it. Of course, will they win in the playoffs? Yeah, we'll see. But right now, what I'm saying, I give them number one. They number one in offense, and they're not fighting to be in the playoffs. They are actually going to be in the playoffs. So I'm going to go Mike Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe bigger style. Who we coach for the Cavs?
Cavs,
yeah.
They've been balling too, but not like Mike.
For sure.
Listen, I'm on the Mike Brown gravy train, I guess, for sure. I've been talking about lighting the beam all year. The other coach I would give consideration to, honestly, is Jacques Vaughn. Jacques Vaughn took over the team at the beginning of the season when they were 2-5, 1-5, 2-5.
Yeah,
did well, had some sensational talent that we can all agree about is top 75 all time. Those two players get traded away, and this team could have said, we're done. And they're not. Matter of fact, they're not done to the point that they're concerned, but not too much concerned about even being in a playing scenario. And this man has not even had them for a full year, but kept them fighting. These is a team full of players that nobody wants, per se. And he's still making them believe in themselves and win these games. So if it's not black coaches, if it ain't Mike Brown, give me Big Jacques Vaughn over there with Brooklyn.
Jacques Vaughn. Shout out to Daniel Greer. He came through and said, any chance you factor in health of the team for the Coach of the Year award? I feel like you think about the narrative in general. So I think injuries is a part of that. I think about the same thing with like if I'm a like executive of the year, for example. It's like if your young players are coming through balling and you still treading water in the NBA in the standings, then I'm cool with that. But I think in this case for this year, the story behind the Kings is just enough. Like the Kings, nobody cared about the Kings. I think the only person cared about the Kings was you, Sheedy. At the beginning of the podcast, like literally back in like August, you like look out for the Kings, and I was like,
and I got on NBA TV that they criticized. I forgot, I can't think of his name. And he'll back man too.
Everybody was like, man, forget the Kings. But the Kings, like we were getting on the Kings for trading. I was one of them. I was like, why you trade Halliburton for? He hooping. But the Pacers are not in the playoffs. Pacers not in the playoffs. The Kings are. But yeah, I definitely agree, Daniel. Like you have to think about the health of the team with the Coach of the Year. But I think the Kings are like the epitome of perfect health. They've had no injuries. Like I can't think of one injury that they had that stood out this year. So they've had a very, very much so a good stint of luck with that. So all right, six man of the year.
Let's get it.
My six man, it's kind of off the wall, but I've watched him a little bit recently, and then I've seen like, hold on, now he doing what? I'm gonna go with Emmanuel Quickly for the New York Knicks. He averaging, I think, 15 points off the bench. One game he had like 42 points, and I was like, okay. And I'm like, he up there in like bench points, and like now, who was the leading candidate was Westbrook. He been starting for the Clippers. Jordan Poole, I'm not voting for Jordan Poole because he has terrible plus minus. I ain't doing that. So I was like, I guess it has to be.
Why you even have to bring him up?
My bad.
Just leave him alone. Let him be.
I was like, I'm gonna go with Emmanuel Quickly. I think the Knicks need some kind of acknowledgement. So I'm gonna go with IQ.
I like that. And apparently Vegas do too. I'm on FanDuel right now. He's actually number one as far as
for real?
Yeah, so I can respect that. Number two was Malcolm Brogdon. We didn't bring him up there, but I definitely thought I'm honestly kind of torn between him and Bobby Portis still right now.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Portis is one of those guys that can literally come off the bench and do anything you need. But
That's
you
true.
know, as far as a guard, we said Malcolm Brogdon was gonna have, you know, 6 man of the year conversations, and boom, here we are. He's second corner fan. I'm gonna go Malcolm Brogdon for the fact that we kind of talked about it, you know, early in the season, and now here we are, and you know, the Celtics are still number 2. They still been doing good. People expected them to fall back, you know, once Ime Udoka left. But now they've been balling. Brogdon, like I said, been doing his thing too. So yeah. And I argument with someone who said the Celtics coach
Joe Mazzulla. Yeah, Mazzulla.
No. Mazzulla.
Apparently, apparently people don't like Mazzulla. A lot of people say he can't really coach in like those late game situations. And somebody was saying that Brad Stevens should have came down from the office to coach the team in place of Ime Udoka, which probably would have helped a whole lot because Brad Stevens is a great coach. But I mean, some people don't. I mean, I'm cool with Mazzulla. It's his first year, and he wasn't really planning on being a coach. Like he literally was behind the bench. The seats behind the bench with the coaches. Like he wasn't the main coach. Then they moved him up because of Ime Udoka's situation. So I'm not mad at it.
And if it kind of honestly felt like they the same team as last year. Like granted, they just beat the Bucks by you know, a crap load, but other than that, it's like they've still followed. I don't want to say taking a step back. It's kind of like they've leveled out a little bit, even though Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown doing that thing. Like who else is gonna help them out? Outside of Brogdon and you know even Marcus Smart
on Robert Williams coming back and making it.
Yeah, and like 40-year-old Al Horford trying to be out there hooping with the young guys. Like kind of been there, done that, seen this last year. So you know, that's how I feel about them.
Yeah, Shitty, who your 6 man?
I'm gonna go off script too, man. I'm gonna give me Norman Powell for the Clippers. Man shooting over 40% from 3, 80% from free throw, giving you 17 points on the team that I had as contenders. When Kawhi's not there or Paul George is not there, Norman Powell has been stepping it up. He's only started 8 games of the season, so he still will qualify for that. He's just, man, I've watched him just be a rocket fire off the bench, and he's scoring well against those great teams, like playoff teams. I feel like he kind of struggles against like playing a team like against the Rockets or someone like that of that nature. But when it's a team and they're on TV, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to watch out for Norman Powell. Yeah, Norman Powell's there.
Daniel asked, I wonder what the Memphis starting lineup versus the Kings starting lineup looks like on the year. The percentages have to be crazy. Well, the good thing, Daniel, is we might not have to wait too long because I am hoping that second round matchup does come to fruition where you get the Kings and the Grizzlies, primarily because of one, good basketball, but two, De'Aaron Fox tends to turn into a different animal against the Grizzlies,
specifically against Ja Morant. Not even against the
Grizzlies. He takes it personally, bro. He takes it personally. So I would love to see that matchup just for the simple fact of like the teams, like the Grizzlies, it's 2 small markets, and the Kings haven't had playoff basketball in a very long time. So we'll see. I'm assuming we're going to see very soon, unless the Warriors play the Kings in the first round. Then I'm like,
or the Lakers.
I'm like, oh shit. So
or the Lakers.
Or the Lakers, man, I ain't heard that mess.
Light the beam.
The Kings are worried about the Lakers. That's all they need to be. And the fan base of the Kings, they worried about going against LA because you know what happened. I know they trying to get their kickback.
The beam.
Light the beam. All right. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. All right, clutch player of the year.
Take that shit your court away from it, LeBron. Ain't no more beam and nothing.
Right, pull that mug out. All right, clutch player of the year. I mean, based on the stats, I put De'Aaron Fox because I mean he's literally leading the league in like fourth quarter points, and there are several examples of him winning games for the Kings in clutch moments. So I said De'Aaron Fox.
No argument for me there, my brother. Even though I've been raving about SGA, De'Aaron got the numbers.
He up there, but it's like it's Fox, man.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Yeah, Fox and Hound. That's clean sweep. Next slide.
Yeah, next slide.
All right, hope he clutch against the Lakers.
All right, man. You know what? I'm gonna wait till next week. Because I ain't finna deal with y'all right now. I'm purposely ignoring y'all in the Laker talk. All right, all NBA awards, gentlemen. Y'all want to do first team first? Or y'all want to do third team?
Wait, did we do all the awards? I feel like we did. All right.
We did all of them. We did MVP, DPOY. Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, executive of the year. I say the Kings, GM, but I don't know nobody else. Maybe Zach Kleiman, because I mean, Kleiman still, despite the Ja Morant situation, the players are still good enough to tread water. So
I can give it to the Cavs too. I think the Cavs have had a great offseason.
that's true.
Trading wise and
I think you can the Knicks.
Knicks, yeah.
We got all our love last season as far as Ja being out and we still winning again. We got all that love last year.
That's why I said Kings.
But
I like Kings because the Kings literally they did nothing at the deadline and they developed their players. So I mean, gotta give a hat tip to them. Mm-hmm. So all right, first team, second team, third team. Where we going first, gentlemen?
I guess you start with
third team or first team.
That's interesting.
Let's do first. Let's do first. First is more obvious. Obvious.
Is it obvious?
I mean, maybe depending on y'all, because y'all don't know how to act.
I go first then.
I don't know how to act, so I gotta watch y'all.
So we did it by position correctly, like guards, forwards, and big man, center, right?
It should be 2 guards, 2 forwards, and 1 center.
And 1 center.
That's what we agreed upon on the last show.
Here are my guards. My guards are at the point guard, Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry, I mean, again, we've seen them on and off with the Warriors. If Steph Curry plays, I mean, it is what it is. Number 2, I got Luka. Despite the record, what's going on in Dallas is not Luka's fault. It's not Luka's fault. He didn't trade for Kyrie. He said he needed help. He didn't say demolish the team to help me out. So I got Luka as my other guard. Forward, I got Tatum. I mean, I don't have to explain that, Jason Tatum. I got Giannis at the other forward. And I got the MVP Joker at the center. That is my first team.
Well, we know who you got at center.
All right, so here's what I got an issue with.
No, it's not about issues. It's about naming your. Let's talk about issues after.
I kind of had to switch it up because I forgot we are doing it by this. Hopefully next year we're doing it positionally, so it is what it is.
It's supposed to be, yeah. Actually,
next year,
my guy Steph Curry only played 50 games this season. I had an issue with putting him number 1 and kind of slick dude, but
it's your list, man.
All right, it is my list. So you know what? I'm not putting Steph Curry on it.
Yeah.
Give me
on their period, first, second, third.
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
So let's go Jokic. Unfortunately, or fortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, I got him beat. I don't care what y'all say. I got him beat.
I know you.
Tatum, Luka, and give me my boy Donovan Mitchell since I gotta have a guard.
Okay.
Give me Donovan.
I'm not mad at Spider.
Give me Spider because he's been going crazy lately.
Give me your 5 again.
71 piece. Like, come on now.
What was that 5 again?
So Jokic, Embiid, Tatum, Luka, and Spider. So I guess Embiid at the 4, whoever you want to put at the 4. Like that's what I'm rolling with. Because I'm not finna sit up here and put Embiid second team. No. No. Giannis, you came off the bench in the All-Star game. Damn it, you finna come off the bench on my second team.
Wow.
So speaking of my I guess we can do on the second team. So yeah, that's my first.
Okay.
Wow. How disrespectful.
No, y'all being disrespectful for to put Embiid again on the second team.
We said 2 guards, 2 forwards.
No, we agreed.
Y'all told me that last week. Y'all said nah. So I kept it what it's supposed to be based on the parameters.
Embiid can be the 4. No. I need Yo can be the 4. You're point forward.
The best.
Point. That's it. This definition of a point forward. Come on.
He's a point center, man.
And 7 feet. Okay, so I got a Joker at the center. Forwards, Giannis and Tatum. Mm-hmm. My guards, man, listen. I am actually definitely on the Donovan Mitchell train. The man's played 66 games, and they're 4th seed right now. So I couldn't put Steph. Damn sure not putting Damian Lillard up there.
Nah.
And my other player. So again, I am giving it up to people that are winning. So nothing against Luka, but you're not winning. I don't care whose fault it is. There's only 5 people on the court. You carry some bums, you can carry Kyrie. So, in a turn of events, I'm saying this with my whole chest because people are going to.
You ain't finna do this. No, you're not. You're not finna.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I'm about to say this player, and it's a disgrace because people are not going to name this player because of what has happened. But damn it, Ja Morant, give me first team All NBA for Ja Morant.
Okay, I'm cool.
Yeah, he got it made a sweat there, but damn, who you thought it was?
I thought it was like De'Aaron Fox. I was like, hell no.
Oh no!
I'm about to say, wait a minute. No, you're not gonna do that.
No. But give me Ja Morant. Like, I mean, he's had his mental healthness, so to speak, deal with. He's played in at least 58 games so far. Came off the bench for 2. Assists are up there with 8. He's not scoring 30 points, but he's responsible for the same amount of points that Stephen Curry is responsible for.
Yep.
When you add up assists and points per game. So give me Ja Morant.
I'm not mad at that.
Ain't mad at that at all, Sheedy. I ain't mad at that at all.
My second team is I actually had Ja Morant here because I feel like because he did miss those games. I mean, it didn't have a negative impact on the team, but I still feel like it was an impact nonetheless. He needed to be there. If he had played those games, then it'd be a different story. But I put him down a notch for that reason. So I got Ja Morant at 1 guard. I got Spider at the 2 guard because I feel like, I mean, Cleveland, they haven't had like an astronomical jump, but he didn't make them worse. Like he made them, I say more dynamic, I would say, on offense. So I got Spider at my other guard. I got at this forward, I got Sabonis. I feel like Sabonis deserves some credit. The Kings are the number 3 seed in the West, due in part to him. He's an all-star. I think he should be an all-NBA player. I'm putting Kevin Durant here. I'm putting Kevin Durant here. I feel like he deserves to be second team. Why am I getting a look from Tufo? This your guy. I'm putting Kevin Durant here. I'm putting Kevin Durant here. He's played the number of games. When he plays, they win. And so I'm getting Kevin Durant here. It's the entire season. He helped the Nets. The Nets were like the 1 seed at one point before the injury happened. So I'm going to give him credit for earlier season success. Give me Kevin Durant. He playing now. And my center, Joel Embiid, I mean, he ain't first team because he's second team. Next year, he'll be first team because you can do it however you want to do it. So that's my second team.
The only reason Kevin Durant isn't on my second or third team is because he's only played in 44 games. That's slow, Savage. Like I just said that Steph Curry is not on my list because of 50 games, 51, 52, whatever. My guys only played 40 games, man. And I get the trust me, I get it. I
got Kevin Durant fan calling me slow, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Kevin Durant. No. There's moments when it's debatable, and there's moments I can call you slow, and there's moments I think like, damn it, you just dumb as hell. These are none of them. It's kind of like just I just couldn't like, and I can appreciate that because, like I said, I didn't based on the number of games, not because when he was hooping with the Brooklyn Nets, they still able to call themselves a top seed in the East. It's just the fact that my guys played 40 games. LeBron played 50, AD played 50. Like it's kind of things of that nature. That's the only reason why.
Now, I will say in the past, they have given players who've played 40, 50 games still all NBA.
Right. No, if he get it, I won't be disappointed at all. Let's go Team Durant all the way. Mm-hmm. But I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect. That's what
I didn't either, honestly, but it's what I get.
I can appreciate it. So for my second, I got Giannis, of course. I got Ja Morant. I got SGA. I'm showing my boy some love. 30 points a game. Could be in the playoffs if he had a better team. I'm gonna go Jaylen Brown because he's been balling. Still second in the East for a reason, and he is a big reason why he's there. And I'm also go Jaren Jackson Jr. We got, defensive player of the year for sure, but his offensive game is coming around for sure, averaging 18 a game, which is what we want. Next year, I want 20, but for this season, for him to be leading the NBA in stocks, what we just said, and averaging 18 a game and stepping up with even when Ja Morant was out, he stepped up majorly to help fulfill that offensive role. So I'm gonna go JJ. So Triple J. So again, SGA, Ja Morant, Jaylen Brown, SGA, Triple J, and Giannis.
She don't know if you didn't have a second team or you want to just comment on ours.
I got you. No, I got you.
Okay.
Because I didn't already made it now, so we good. I got Luka and Steph. Those are my guards. Second team. I'll give them that for second team. And Steph is really, and I'm not really sold on Steph being second team either because I could see a case for SGA, but I have SGA at third. But clearly, I just gave that away. But Sabonis and Jaylen Brown and Embiid. So that's my 5.
Okay. You got your third team? You want me to go first or you want to go?
You can go ahead.
All right. Third team guards. I had De'Aaron Fox, and I had SGA here. I was kind of torn on the forwards, but I mean, well, not really. No, I wasn't really. Jaylen Brown is here, third team, and I got Jaren, who's a forward based on the positional thing. And then I had Bam Adebayo third team for center because I feel like there's no other center that's worthy. I mean, I can't say Gobert. Cat didn't play as much this year. Aiden ain't really just killing it like that. So I went Bam as my center for third.
You being real disrespectful right now.
Who?
You being real disrespectful right
To
now.
who?
Not to him as well, but you got a homie out in New York that's been balling his ass off, and it go by the name of Julius Randle. So
Over Jaren and over Jaylen Brown?
I mean, those are my second team. So yeah,
In my opinion, I put Mikal Bridges over Julius Randle. That's my opinion.
Ooh.
That's my opinion. I would.
Come on with your third team, dude. I need to hear it.
This is why I want to do all three teams because I like
that's wild. That is wild. And I like Mikal Bridges. So I don't want to sound like a hater. But Julius Randle been doing this damn thing all season, double machine at this point. Besides when I put money on him and he want to get 2 rebounds, but that's neither here and there. So I do have Julius Randle. I do have a Laker on this thing, and it's LeBron James for sure.
LeBron.
I got LeBron.
So we can't put Kevin Durant on second team, but you can put LeBron on third team.
I mean, LeBron's played more games,
man.
And then you know what I'm saying, and you know the Lakers
when he played, they were trash.
Hey, when LeBron plays and LeBron got people on the team with him on the court with him, they are about to win. They weren't supposed to be an AC right now.
So I will say that Kevin Durant has played 44 games. And LeBron James has played 50.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's right here.
I'm just giving you the numbers. Don't shoot me.
I mean,
continue.
That's another top one another day. That's another top one another day. Let's keep it going. So I do got either Sabonis or Randall, whoever you want to put at center. Sabonis. Man, this. I love versatile players, right? And this guy is averaging the most assists in the NBA right now, as well as 20 points and 6 rebounds. I don't respect him in the playoffs. Y'all know me, but regular season, I got to go with James Harden. I know he may not get the love from a lot of fans, a lot of people, a lot of the media, but based on his numbers and still playing with Embiid, 21, 11, and 6 is pretty impressive to me. Even though it may be a step down from what he's used to. It's like you leading the league in assists. Give him to me. And the last one, I gotta go, unfortunately, because he's not in the playoffs. I gotta go Dame, number 3 in scoring in the league right now. Like, I gotta give it to him. I thought the Blazers were gonna be a better team. I thought they were gonna have a better record. Unfortunately, not. I can't put all that on Dame because, like I said, he's number 3 in the East in scoring, and he's played 50, close to 60. He could have played 60 games if they ain't shut him out this season. So I gotta go Dame. So again, Dame, Harden, Sabonis, Bron, and Julius Randle.
That is interesting.
I know, right?
I don't know what I expected you to say. I know we did talk about James Harden at the beginning of the show, so I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely gonna bring him out, and that's fine. So I will go with my list clearly. At guards, I match you, Savage. I got SGA and Fox. I told you SGA was already going to be on here. De'Aaron Fox as well. My forwards, this is where you find Kevin Durant for me. For third team, and alongside him, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm putting my man Laurie for marketing in there too. For third team All NBA, and call it what you want. But if we're gonna have talks about players that ain't even close to being in the play-in scenario, hell, why can't Laurie for marketing be in there? And he's in the play-in scenario.
All-star Laurie for marketing.
All-star should have been a starter, right?
Not for me.
And then. For center, man, I got the big fella that stays healthy right now, Anthony Davis.
Street clothes.
Yes, sir. He's played 50 games. He's got the most. I think he has the most 30 and 15 games this season.
He's been hooping.
With playing less games than everyone else. And so to your point, you know, all NBA teams have had players make it with less games. Give me Anthony Davis and what he's been on a tear with for all NBA. Yes. 30.
And just for clarity, LeBron James averages more points than AD. Just want to throw that out there. So that's for that Kevin Durant case. Like I said, y'all know I love me some Kevin Durant, but 50, 44, Yeah,
Man,
I don't know, man.
Y'all better hope the Lakers make the playoffs. Y'all better hope.
Hope they better. They are. What you talking about?
Y'all
You
better hope.
They might
hope
be a
they
fifth
don't.
seed. They might mess around and be a fifth seed.
Man, hold on.
I said the 6th seed. I want that Sacramento Lakers game. Like I need to know which one is better. I need to know, are we living in the past or are we finally progressing in the future?
It's just
That's what I need to
crazy.
know.
And we can wrap it up here. I'm looking at the standings right now. The Lakers are a game out of the play-in, going up into like the 6th spot. They're a game and a half from Golden State. This is, man, look, they ain't made the playoffs. They're not. I'm gonna plant my flag. They're not making the playoffs. Nope.
So when they do, can we finally get your support?
No.
No, that's unfair. You just being a hater.
Unfair. I'm not being a hater. I'm being.
There's a difference between not being a fan and being a hater. That's hate.
I'm being realistic.
And the crazy thing is, there's a lot of games on today that can change the trajectory of where the Lakers got the Rockets. You know, they
might lose to the Rockets. Shoot.
They might. They might. But the Thunder play the Suns. That's a huge game.
The Lakers' last 5 games, they got the Jazz twice, the Clippers, the Suns, and the Rockets.
They're gonna win at least 3 of those games.
Shitty, your tune has changed, and I don't appreciate that.
Hey,
I don't appreciate that, man.
He's watching good basketball.
Your whole fandom to change. I don't appreciate that.
He was a fan for years.
Come on.
Was in there being
information change.
Championship, winning championships. Now they can't get you back on their team because they ain't win no championship, Savage. Come on, man.
It's only been 3 years.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of good basketball, who y'all got winning? Iowa or LSU? Are we on the Caitlin Clark bandwagon or are we on Angel Reese bandwagon?
I feel like I got to turn my black card in if I don't pick LSU. I'm going LSU. I'm sorry. Nothing against what's the
Caitlin
name?
Clark.
Caitlin, nothing against Caitlin Clark. You've been doing the damn thing, but I feel like I'm picking against my own people if I don't pick LSU. So I gotta go LSU. I hope they have another 40-point game. But I hope LSU wins.
Just killed Aaliyah Boston.
I'm pissed about it. South Carolina. Like that would have been my team to win it, so I'm kind of pissed. But
had them in the press conference having to stiff themselves, man. It's crazy.
I'm just happy I ain't playing the Black History Month because I'd be pissed right now.
Hey man,
I'd be gone.
Look, I don't need Dr. Umar coming for me, but I got Iowa, man. I got Iowa. Caitlin Clark is different, man. She different.
This Iowa girls team is way better than the men's team. So yeah, you can get my black card. I'll get it back. Okay. Give me Iowa for sure, bro.
All right, last one. UConn or San Diego State? I don't even know because I haven't watched the game since Memphis lost to FAU. Shout out to FAU for losing, first of all, because I was tired. I was getting real tired of them. Right, give me UConn. Give me UConn, man.
Yeah, I got UConn as well.
Give me UConn. We're gonna sweep that one. Give me UConn.
All right. Next week we're gonna talk about the play-in. I don't know when we're gonna record. We can talk about that after the show go off. But any other comments before we get out of here, gentlemen?
The next time we record, we'll be talking about the play-in, and I think that's when things are gonna get real shit. Like now, it's time to position yourself where you want to be. And a lot of people talking about lighting that beam, baby. Well, I'm gonna be on the other end smoking it. Let's go.
We're gonna talk about it on Star 5, but I don't like the energy that Ja Morant giving out right now.
Oh yeah, y'all talk about that. He ain't the main guy no more. Boy, if y'all get your ass line.
I don't like that, bro. So we gonna talk more about that. Ja Morant, keep your head up. But...
Hey, too, it's a clone Ja Morant, huh?
Yeah, it's a burner account.
It might be the clone Ja Morant, bro. You're out here cloning people. This is the clone Ja Morant, man. The energy too low.
The real Ja back, man.
What the real Ja? Demetrius, where you at?
Demetrius,
Demetrius, get your ass in here. All right, let's get out of here. Stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.
Peace.
Cologne, Ja Morant.